INTJ Emotional Breakdown. INTJs are often perceived as being cold and aloof, but the emotional world of an INTJ is very rich and deep. It's not that they don't feel emotion, it's just that they tend to keep those emotions under wraps. But sometimes, something will trigger a strong reaction in them. Some situations, when they happen for a prolonged period of time, can cause INTJs to go into severe mental distress, the so-called breakdown. In this video we'll be talking about 4 of those specific situations, the last one being the most damaging. Let's begin. 1. Inescapable situations where the INTJ is forced to emotional expression. INTJs are known for their emotional restraint. They tend to be drained by major expressions of emotion, and they're uncomfortable in emotionally charged situations, preferring instead to look at things logically. They get uncomfortable with emotional conversations, as they like to think rationally, and don't want to deal with emotions constantly. They can feel drained in these situations, which is why it's important for them not to be around extroverted feeling dominant types on a daily basis, or too often. If INTJs have to deal with emotionally charged situations on a daily basis, there's a real chance they will experience a breakdown. Something like a chaotic, loud, or disordered work environment. Working as a social worker, nurse, or doctor could also prove to be detrimental to INTJs' mental health, due to having to constantly deal with difficult emotionally charged situations. 2. Constant social interaction. INTJs are introverted, which means that they usually have a preference for solitude. They can sometimes feel drained by being around too many people, and prefer to work alone, or through written communication, as opposed to face-to-face conversations with others. One situation that leads to emotion overload for those with the INTJ personality type would be dealing with too many people at once. INTJs are introverts who prefer to deal with just one person at a time, because they derive their energy from deep and meaningful conversations. In large groups, the INTJ is likely to feel mentally drained by trying to keep track of so many people's thoughts and motivations. But sometimes there are social obligations that require us all to surface after being submerged too long. If these situations happen more often than they can handle, it might cause slow wear and tear in their psyche. It's important to focus on recharge, or little mental distressors. Something like a walk around the block on your work break can do wonders. 3. Forced to think traditionally. INTJs are open-minded, and their challenging nature predisposes them to weigh the value of certain rules. They don't do what they're told, if it goes against what is going on in their mind, which can lead to some interesting situations, when authority figures try ordering an INTJ around. They often challenge overly traditional rules that restrict them from weighing new solutions. Their openness predisposes them towards doing what is right, even if it goes against the grain of tradition. Being constantly overruled, at work or in family settings because the rest of the group believes the path previously carved is safe, therefore is the best, will discourage INTJs. They do not like being confined to a box, unable to stretch their imagination. If this is a constant scenario in the INTJ life, then it might be the cause for severe mental distress. 4. Broken trust. To an INTJ, trust is one of the most important aspects of any relationship or situation. INTJs are great at reading people, and have a talent for predicting outcomes. I would go as far as saying that this is a huge part of their identity. For someone to enter that circle of trust, they really need to prove to the INTJ over and over again that they are worthy. INTJs never allow others to break down their walls, ever. If they let someone in, it's because the INTJ decided to bring those walls down themselves. So when someone breaks that trust, there's a direct assault on the INTJ's identity itself. It will take a long time for the INTJ to recover, and every time it happens, those walls keep getting higher and higher. To the point that someday those walls might get so high, that the INTJ might not want to break them again, or lose the ability to bring them down altogether. So when someone breaks the INTJ trust, that person is contributing to a possible emotional shutdown of the INTJ. The INTJ will feel devastated, firstly for not seeing it coming, identity crisis. But also for giving the other person the power to influence something inside them, the so-called walls. Not to mention that those feelings can feel permanent. I'll never trust anyone again, and the fact that they were put there by someone else is almost intolerable. The idea that someone else could ruin something as important and powerful as love, relationships, or friendships, feels like cheating, and rigorously unfair. The INTJs will blame themselves for it, because they were not able to see the signs, foretell, or intuitively sense that something was amiss. But it's important to understand that no matter how developed your intuition might be, no one can truly know what goes on inside someone else's mind. For instance, there might have been situations in your life that were clouding your judgment. Stress, work, financial issues, health issues, family problems, the list goes on. That is called being human. People change their minds and make mistakes every day. Remember? No one can control what other people might do. It's a terrible thing to close yourself off to new and wonderful experiences, just because of a negative experience, or a bad apple. The best thing to do is to dust yourself off, and understand that unfortunately this is something humanity didn't cast out yet, and no one can see, or be aware of everything at all times, not even INTJs.
If you liked the video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. That will allow us to keep making more videos like this. For more related content, please click on one of the suggested videos. Thank you for watching.